So, today I'm going to be doing something quite interesting. I am going to be showcasing two tarot cards side by side. One is going to be the White Cat Tarot, and the second one is going to be the Black Cat Tarot. What we're looking at right now is the back of the card. So, this is for the White Cat Tarot and the Black Cat Tarot. Now, neither of these cards have any correlationship with the publisher, so they're from two different publishers. I want you to know that ahead of time. Okay, so we'll start with the Major Arcana, and I'll be naming each card so you know exactly which one you're looking at. This is the Fool card. In this one, it's being portrayed by a white dog, and on the second one, it's being portrayed by a white cat. We have our Magician card. We have our High Priest. Now, I found this one interesting, that the High Priest is high on a tree overlooking the scenery there. So, she's a High Priest. We have our Empress. Our Emperor. Our Hierophant. The Lover card. The Chariot. The Strength card. Now, on the White Cat Tarot, they had the Strength card as number 11, and it's normally number 8 in the Rider-Waite traditional, so that's something to keep an eye on. So a number 11 is going to be the Justice card, and so that's a little number mix up, but I put it together just so you can examine them side by side. We have the Hermit. The Wheel. These cards are great for any animal lovers or cat lovers. So you don't have to be only a cat lover, but any animal lover could appreciate these cards. And so this is the Justice card. And again, and this card is number 8, but I just put them together so that way you could appreciate the difference between both cards. Our Hangman. The Death card. The Temperance. The Devil. The Tower. Star card. The Moon. The Sun. Judgment. The World card. Now this one is interesting because they have the World card, the cat shedding his skin, his black skin, and revealing inside a white cat. So those are the Major Arcana. Now we're going to start moving into the Minor Arcana. Now the Minor Arcana really took a turn here. I noticed that with the White Cat Tarot, they kept to a more traditional interpretation, so they used the Rider-Waite, opposed to the Black Cat when kind of on its own interpretation. So the Black Cat Tarot is one of those decks that you're better off just reading off the image, because it doesn't fall quite into the same category as some of the Rider-Waite traditional, but it's still. So we start with the Ace of Wands. That's what you're looking at here. And in the Ace of Wands on the Black Cat, we have an artist drawing a canvas of his lovely cat, female cat there. We have the Two of Wands, and the Two of Wands, we have as normal the right away where he's looking out ahead. And in the black cat, they actually have two cats arm wrestling. And so just a completely different portrait of what would have normally be categorized. So we have our Three of Wands, our Four of Wands, and so here they're both celebrating. This one celebrating around the fire, opposed to this one under the bars, or the pole, festival pole. Okay, the Five of Wands, and there you can tell that they're all battling. Our Six of Wands, both cards portray a victorious, something victorious. We have our Seven of Wands. And so with this one, it portrays a little bit more showing courage with the lion. Our Eight of Wands, which in the typical right away, we do have the Eight Wands up in the air. Opposed to this one, what they're portraying is a cat rushing off. So actually the cat is going off in a hurry. We have our Nine of Wands. And in the black cat, what you see in the center is the little mouse with the cheese. And so he's kind of in bail. And behind the bushes are some black cats waiting to catch him. The Ten of Wands. And in this one, what he's actually, it looks like he's in a cave where there's crystal. And so he is gathering some crystals. Then we have our knives. And I forgot to mention, in this one, what they're actually portraying is a messenger. So there's a cat on the cloud, and there is a scroll there. And so he's portraying the role of a messenger. We have our knight, our lovely queen, and our king. And so those are for the ones we were looking. Now we're gonna actually be looking at the coins, or the pentacle, however you want to name them. And so on this one, they are having portray of sailing, like starting on a new sail. We have our juggling card, which is the Two of Pentacles, and they're both juggling. Our Three of Pentacles. Sorry you guys, I'm kind of standing over, so I'm getting a little tired in my back. And so here in the Three of Pentacles, they're both laboring, carefully laboring. The Four of Pentacles, which is our stingy card. I call it the stingy card, where somebody's holding back their coins, their precious stone. And in this one, in the black cat, they actually portrayed it a little bit different. What they did is they put this cat here, now isolation. So that was one way to interpret this card. We have our Five of Pentacles. Now with the black cat tarot, the card is pretty dark. That's why I came to where there was a lot of lighting, hopefully so you'll be able to see better. And so what you're looking at here is two cats, and they're under the root of a tree. And so it seemed like a cave there, and they're both fighting for a dead fish that's in the center. We have our Six of Pentacles. And again, in this card, it's a little bit harder to see, but luckily I came to a lot of light, so you'll be able to see better. And so you see a cat reaching out to help the other cat that's was underneath the root of the tree. We have our Seven of Pentacles. And in this one, what you're seeing there, he has it fenced off. In the center, it is a young tree that they probably planted not so long ago because it's pretty young. And he's washing carefully and just patiently over the tree. We have our 8 of Pentacles, a 9 of Pentacles. Now this one went pretty off the chart on this interpretation. So we have a cat floating in the water, and then all around what we're seeing here is shark. And our 10 of Pentacles, and this one, what you're seeing is a monument being built to the cat. We have a knife. We have our knight. Our queen. And our king. Now we're going to move to the cups. So we have our Ace of Cups. A lover card. It's one of my favorite. The 3 of Cups, and they all celebrating in both cards. Our 4 of Cups. By the way, these cards have such lovely colors, nice colors. This is our 5 of Cups. And so both of them have spilled cups. Then our 6 of Cups. And so in our white cat 6 of Cups, he's comforting her by giving her a cup with flowers. And then on this one, it's a little bit different. What they have is a cat, and they're showing more, it's a faded memory. That's what you're looking at. The bubble here is him thinking about a faded memory. We have our 7 of Cups, which is the wishful cup. And so in this one, we have all the range of cups that he desires, richness that he might desire. And in this one, it's a little bit different. We have 2 sides here. We have the illuminated side, which is in an abundance and everything is blooming and beautiful. And then, but behind him is actually darkness and everything is dry and brittle. So it's more about illusion on this one. We have our 8 of Cups, and both of them are walking away. Our 9 of Cups, and in this one, he has a bag full of cups that just overflow in richness. Our 10 of Cups, and in this one is portrayed by angels, black angel cats floating in the air, just being joyful. And we have our knight, a knife. Again, I'm sorry I butchered the words. I can't seem to pronounce it with my Spanish tongue. So we have Cupid here being portrayed. Cupid. Our knights. We have our queen. And our king. So in this king, he is leaning actually against the tree and looking through a scope there at the sky. Kind of a dreamer there. And then we are moving on to the swords. And so in this card, we have him showing kind of being victorious because he is climbing up the hill and being on top of it, blowing his horn there. And this one's being knight, kind of being king. So just 2 different portrayed there. For this is for the sword, the Ace of Swords. And we have our 2 of Swords. And so this is our typical Rider-Waite version, where it's blindfold and holding 2 swords crossed. And then this one is a little bit different. They're here on a log, and they're actually balancing each other out, and they each have a sword at each end. So that's kind of a different interpretation, yet a nice one. Oh, our sadness. Here we have our 3 of Swords, which is sadness. This one portrays more as distance. So there's 2 cats being at opposite ends of each other, giving the back to each other while there's rain falling down on them. We have our 4 swords. So there's the one being portrayed in the bed with the swords all up in the air. And so in this one, we have a cat with a broken leg. The crutch is there, and so he can't walk. And the swords are actually in the front tied together. We have our 5 of Swords. And in this one, where it has the 2 swords being held, while there's 3 others that not quite on. He doesn't have a quite hold of it, but yet you have his 2 people walking away from him. Again, a Rider-Waite version. And then on this one, we actually have 2 cats here dueling, having a duel there. We have our 6 of Swords, and they're both sailing away in each image here. We have our 7 of Swords, and he's getting away with some of the swords. And opposed to this version, what we have is a cat going over a bridge, but he seems like there's an obstacle going on there, so he's finding a sneaky way of getting through this course. We have our 8 of Swords. And this one is pretty dark, but basically what you see is a cat eye piercing through the dark cave, but then there's some swords that's keeping him from getting out. We have our 9 of Swords, and again, here we have the worry card, where staying up all night, worry and crying. And in this card is actually, it's like it's mirrors. There's mirror all around him, and what they were trying to portray was solitude. He's alone there to face himself and basically nowhere to go, and everywhere he'll turn there'll be a mirror waiting for him. We have our 10 of Swords, and I kind of like that in this card they don't have the swords going through the back of the cat. You know, they kind of have the cat escaping off from all the swords. So I kind of like, that's a very positive image, instead of having it laying dead with swords stabbed to his back. And then on the black cats, they went with a different version or rendition of how it could be interpreted. And so basically all these signs are saying exits in different language. As he goes opening the door, what's actually waiting behind him is a dead branch and some swords. So what you think is an exit way out is actually going to lead you to a trapment. Then we have our 9 of Swords, and this one portrayed by guardian angels. We have our Knights. We have our Queen. And last but least, we conclude with the Kings of Swords. I want to thank you for taking the time to view this video with me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.